So, welcome everyone to Eating Healthy on a Budget. We have the privilege of having Jessica Shirley here with us today, and we're really grateful for her expertise and interest in this area. She has a certification as a health education specialist, a master's in health and human performance, and also is a certified yoga instructor. So, she comes with a very robust understanding of wellness, health, and the individuality of each person in that space. So thank you so much for being here and for bringing us this topic, which is something that I think is really important for many of us to have more information about. So thank you again, Jessica, and take it away.
Thank you so much, Reggie. Hi, everybody. As Reggie said, I'm Jessica. Welcome to Eating Healthy on a Budget. And look, this is a small class. Let's make it conversational if you want. Please feel free to raise your hand or type the question in the chat box, and Reggie can let me know. This is something that not only have I been trained in, but I've been a passion of mine since I was a child. I have menu cards from when I was 5 years old trying to write recipes. And then I did spend some time after college in fine dining, working with award-winning chefs, and learned so much more even on top of that. So this is a very big passion of mine. I love food. So let's dig in. Okay. So kind of let's start with the basics before we jump into the planning and remind everybody of a few things. First off, every bite counts. Okay. Healthy eating matters at every age, supporting growth, immunity, energy, and long-term disease prevention. When we get the proper nutritional intake, we reduce risk of chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and we also reduce inflammation in our body, which can cause other chronic issues and such as pain in our joints. We were going to proper nutritional intake will also help us support a healthy immune system and stay well more often, especially as these flus are going around right now, I think are pretty bad. And then it also will improve energy, focus, and boost mental clarity. It's really important to stay mineralized and keep your vitamins and your nutrients nearby. So what makes foods healthy and affordable? There's three main things, okay? So we're going to want to look for foods that are nutrient dense. And what I mean by that are foods that give you more vitamins, minerals, fiber, and protein for your money. Examples include beans, eggs, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and dairy. Choosing these foods help you feel full, energized without having to have large portions or the expensive specialty items. And then I'm going to do a little aside here, just as a reminder, if you're not if you're not familiar, our macronutrients are things are our carbs, proteins, and fats. Okay, our micronutrients are going to be the vitamin B12, the vitamin D, the magnesium, and all of the things of the hundred and something vitamins and minerals we need every day. Those are the micronutrients. And then, of course, fiber is what's going to help your digestive system keep you flowing. So we need all of these things to have a well-functioning body. And some foods have more concentration of macronutrients and micronutrients. And these types of foods, like I mentioned, beans, eggs, whole grains, fruits, and veggies, have those high concentration of macro and micronutrients. Then we want to look for, secondly, foods that work in multiple meals with minimal prep. Affordable foods go further when they can be used in more than one meal. Items like rice, pasta, beans, eggs, frozen veggies, or rotisserie or canned proteins can be mixed and matched for bowls, wraps, salads, or quick meals with very little cooking. And lastly, we want foods that are easy to find. So healthy eating on a budget works best when you can find these foods, of course, and common grocery items, as we mentioned, including the store brand, which can always be a little cheaper, frozen or canned fruits and vegetables, staple proteins that are widely available, cost effective, and just as nutritious as more expensive options. And I can give lots of examples of these things as we go on, but right now we're just focusing on what makes it affordable and healthy. So as a review, nutrient dense foods, foods that work in multiple meals with minimal prep, and foods that are easy to find. Okay. And then I'll mention this later on. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Another reminder, just what should your plate look like when you're making these healthy meals? We want, if you look on the left side here, we want half our plate with veggies and fruits. I say fruits make a great little dessert. And you can even freeze the grapes or berries, and they almost like they'll kind of satisfy that cold thing if you have ice cream addiction or anything like that. You're going to get a lot of your micronutrients and fiber on this side of your plate. And then over on the other side, we want to shoot for about 20% carbs and 20% proteins, still getting our micronutrients as well as our carbs and our proteins. And then we want about 10%, just a little section of our healthy fats, such as olive oils, avocados, ghee, and things like that. So this is what your plate should look like when you're preparing your healthy, affordable meal. I always just like to throw that in for a review. All right. So let's go in a little bit more detail about the specific low-cost healthy foods that go far. And it's extra benefit if you are able to have like a Costco membership or something like that, then you can actually buy in bulk. So we got our whole grains, brown rice, oats, whole grain or brown rice pasta, quinoa, and more. And I'm not knocking white rice. I eat white rice because I know if I'm going to eat it, it is better than me letting that brown rice sit in the cabinet. Um, and there, I don't know if it's sold here, but there was a rice that a company in Louisiana had started producing that had a little bit higher protein content. So you can look around, and some rices are healthier than others. I'm a big fan of quinoa. Quinoa is the only grain that is a complete protein in nature. That's a plant, not an animal. And then any other grains that you can think of that you might like, farro, or amaranth, anything. Just get those grains in there, those whole grains. And when you read labels, make sure it doesn't say just wheat. It has to be whole wheat. Okay. Then we've got our beans, legumes, and nuts. This is one of my favorite categories. Dried beans are really cheap and they're really easy because you can put them in a bowl of water before you go to bed. The next morning, you can drain them and put them in a crock pot and leave them all day. And you come home and you've got this cheap, healthy pot full of fiber, protein, and nutrition. And it can be used for beans and rice. It can be used for rice bowls. It can be used to mix into soups. So beans are one of my absolute favorite things to include. Lentils, peas, and peanuts are considered legumes as well. And then nuts are full of micronutrients, healthy fats, omega-3s. So keep those around. They can be added to salads. They're great for snacking. Then we've got our eggs and dairy, yogurt, cottage cheese. Hard cheeses are better for you than the soft cheeses. And eggs have lots of protein, calcium, and many more nutrients. I know a lot of people are not a fan of cottage cheese, but there are ways to include it in your diet. And if you think about how healthy it is, it's probably my favorite dairy product. And I don't do a lot of dairy, but personally, I do like dairy alternatives like oat milk or almond milk. But for cottage cheese, 1 cup has 30 grams of protein. And even if you don't like it that much, half a cup has 15. So you're getting a lot of protein. And side note, I didn't include this recipe, but I can always write it down and share it with Reggie. I created a pasta sauce this week with cottage cheese. So it was like the creamy fettuccine style, but it was a cottage cheese instead of actual cream. And it turned out so good. And my children ate it and loved it, and nobody knew the cottage cheese was in it instead of cream. So there are ways to slip these things in, and cottage cheese is very cheap compared to other things. So. And then our frozen fruits and veggies. So I know I keep going to frozen. If you want fresh, I mean, of course, fresh is best most of the time if it's in season. But a lot of times these frozen vegetables and fruits are frozen at their peak freshness. So those nutrients are retained. Sometimes the fresh produce you see out might have been there for a week or two. And so, I mean, I love to get my fresh produce, but make sure you're getting fresh. And if it doesn't look that great, go get your frozen fruits and veggies, and they're typically cheaper. And they're shelf stable. So if you find that lettuce is not just turning brown in your back of your fridge every week, I mean, I know you can't buy frozen lettuce, but bad example. But if you see that you're let things rot too quickly, then get the frozen. Just opt for that. It's simple, usually already diced and prepared for you, and a lot easier to deal with. Okay, so shopping tips that save you money. I'm going to go through several of those. I've got 2 slides full. Plan ahead. Try to plan for at least 2 to 3 simple meals before you go shopping. And if these meals, if you can cook them larger, then those 2 to 3 meals can be made into like 5 or 6 for the whole week if you're good with leftovers. Okay, so make a big pot of rice. Get that rotisserie chicken and then debone it and put it in a container. Get these things and be ready. Okay, and plan ahead. Compare unit prices to find the best deal. This is crucial. Um, I'm going to give one example. My children, and this is a snack, it's not a meal, but it's relevant. My children love the little chewy granola chocolate chip bars, okay? And they come in every brand, everybody has them.
Can I ask
But
a question real quick?
oh, I'm sorry.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Absolutely.
Sorry. When because it reminded me of something. When you're prepping for 2 to 3 meals, let's say these are like protein bowls with rice and vegetables, for example.
Uh-huh.
Like, there's always a, question about like, hey, how long because you said you could, maybe those could extend out to like 5 to 6 days once they're
Yeah.
prepped and done. Like, are they good? Well, how long are they good for in the refrigerator once you've completed them?
But your perfect question, 5 days max.
5 days
I shouldn't have
max?
said
Okay.
6 days. But 6 days, like the shopping trip would get you that long. That's a very good
Yeah.
question. So, yeah, the shopping trip will get you 5 or 6 days, but the food in the refrigerator, once it's cooked, 5 days max.
Okay.
Mhm.
Once it's cooked.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
There's always a stigma around like how many days can the leftovers be good for? You know what I mean?
yes, absolutely. And I mean, some foods may not be as good up to 5 days, but and I've taken classes on this, food safety classes and all the things. I
Yeah.
wouldn't go up over 5 for anything, 3 to 5, depending on the food.
Okay.
Always smell as long as it's not discolored, it smells the same and it's under 5 days, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Airtight containers. Airtight containers and getting as much air out as possible. And then
Okay.
let's say that you because some fresh vegetables are just cheaper, like carrots. Like you can just buy whole carrots and they're not that expensive. Let's
What
say
about
you
the
want,
to-go containers with just a lid on it? Like the to-go,
yeah,
they're not super airtight, but they have a container to go. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like the stuff that you buy from Amazon, it's like these black bowls with the lid on it, you know?
yes. And those I
Are
would
those
just
okay?
stick. Yes, those are absolutely okay. And I kind of would stick to whatever date they put on it,
Yep.
like you don't know what when they put it on the shelf, but that's
Yep.
definitely a good question. And then
Okay.
some vegetables are they save better if you put them in a little water in an airtight container like carrots and celery, if you're slicing sticks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right. The unit prices. So these bars are I can get a box of like 6 to 8, anywhere from $5 to $6 at most stores. I can get a box of 64 of these for $13 at Costco. So it goes from almost 90 cents to $1 per bar to 20 to 30 cents a bar.
What kind of bars are we talking about?
And these are just ones that my kids like, but I'm talking about comparing
Oh,
unit
okay.
prices. So it's just a chocolate chip granola bar,
Got it.
but it's to show you how important comparing prices are. And that's just one thing in my household that they eat a ton of for snacks and it saves me a ton of money. But it could be anything. There's so much that you can get cheaper when you pay attention to unit prices, especially if you can afford to buy in bulk. Use store loyalty cards and coupons. One thing I've noticed here is that in addition to keeping your loyalty card on you or knowing your phone number, remembering to put in your phone number, check your email. They send emails, and I know we all hate spam, but a lot of these reward programs want you to check their email, and then you have to click to load your reward or load your refund or your rebate. I don't know if many people have noticed that, but I've missed out on several deals by not doing that. Natural grocers, new seasons. I'm not sure where everyone here is located, but they all, you have to load some of their specials by checking your email. So pay attention to those loyalty cards and coupons. Be sure to shop when you're not hungry to avoid impulse buys. That's a big one for me. All those snacks look great when you're starving. And for the trip home. All right. And then make a short list and stick to it based on what you plan for. We talked about buying produce that is in season, meaning it'll be fresh It'll be a little cheaper and local. So you can type in Google fresh produce in season for Seattle, for Portland, wherever you may be, and the month, and you'll get a list of things you should be looking for. And
One other
then,
thing, that reminds me. So when
mhm,
you're going back to the frozen vegetables,
uh-huh,
and that's better than nothing, really, at the end of the day.
it is.
Because for me, it's very important because I'm paralyzed. My left arm's paralyzed from
Uh-huh.
my stroke. So I gotta make easy meals as easy as possible. So if I got a bag that, a seasoned vegetable that's got seasoned just a little bit, that I could, it's potatoes or something like that.
Hmm.
That's easy for me. I could just stick it in the microwave and, cut it with my scissors to open it. I mean, I have this little madness of making it work, but it's very important. So I guess the thing is like some frozen vegetables get a bad rap, but for me, it's better than nothing, I guess.
I think, I think you're right. And I don't think they should get a bad rap because, as I said earlier, like those vegetables are frozen at peak freshness. So they're
Yeah,
retaining a lot of their nutrients.
right.
Yeah, you're doing great. That's great. I've got bags full of frozen veggies right now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pause for a second. I appreciate that you shared your experience. Musang, oh, Albert, I'm gonna just a minute here. Albert, I'm just gonna quiet your microphone. There we go. Um, am I pronouncing your name properly, Musang?
Yes, Musong. Yes, correct.
Musang. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing your experience, and I think that you are not alone in needing the support of like pre-chopped vegetables. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people in the brain injury community for different reasons, and I love that you brought that up. And true, it is great that they are often frozen at peak, and they should not get a bad rap. And
Yeah.
it's great to eat them. It's better to eat more vegetables in a form, even if it's not coming from fresh, than to not eat them. So good
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess
And
that's why
the
they have vitamins too,
Yeah.
That's why they call them
Yep.
supplements.
Right.
yeah,
Although that you don't know that it's not, you can't tell if it's working or not, but you just know to take them. It's consciously makes you feel better, knowing
yeah,
that
for sure.
it can make you healthier. You know what I mean?
And that matters. Yep.
Sure
That's
does.
right. It does matter.
It does.
So,
Okay, so we're going to continue with shopping tips that save money and energy. I've got another list on this slide. As we've kind of mentioned before, I repeat a lot through this class, but that's
fine.
intentional. Help it sink
Okay.
in. So buying frozen or canned produce to reduce waste, like buy store brands when possible. Shop once per week to also limit impulse buys, like not shopping hungry. Pick foods that can be used more than once. Skip the specialty items unless they serve multiple meals. Like, yeah, that caramelized onion jam does sound delish, but how many meals are you going to actually use that with? So skip those specialty items unless you can plan to use them for several things. And if needed, use pickup or delivery to reduce fatigue or impulse buying. There's nothing wrong with that because I know personally, like I like to shop, but then sometimes I know I spend way less when I do pickup. The only thing is I don't like them picking out my produce. That's the only problem. So if I'm buying fresh, I'm not doing pickup. Okay, so let's kind of dig into the bulk of the how do we actually build these meals. Now we're shopping, we're planning. So minimal prep meal building. You're going to want to choose one base of carbs. We're going to do rice, pasta, tortillas. They can be corn or flour, oats or grains such other grains such as quinoa, um, couscous, whatever works for you. And then we're going to build. We're going to add our protein in beans, eggs, canned tuna, chicken, rotisserie, even frozen fish fillets, whatever works for you. If you're vegetarian or vegan, your soy crumbles, your tofu, whatever works for you. Then you're going to definitely add in 1 to 2 veggies. I recommend 2 if you can. Fresh, frozen, or canned, whatever works, whatever you can get in your system. And then we finish with a flavor of some sort, sauce, seasoning, cheese, or oil, or any combination of those. These ingredients can all become bowls, wraps, salads, simple skillets, or sheet pan meals with very little prep, cleanup, or decision making. And a few additional tips here. We're going to start with what's prepared. Start with foods that you're already cooked or quick to prepare, and then combine them into easy meals. So let's say this week On Sunday afternoon, I cook up some rice. I buy a rotisserie chicken. I debone it. I put it in an airtight container. I've got my canned beans in the cabinet, and then I've got my frozen vegetables. So tomorrow, I might take that rice, throw some chicken on it, some English peas. You can get the frozen ones, and then you can defrost them. You don't even have to cook them. I never cook my English peas. Just put them in a bowl of water and help until they're thawed. Throw those in your bowl. You've got your chicken, your peas, your rice, maybe a little lettuce or some shredded carrots, and you make an Asian style rice bowl with some soy sauce or a little teriyaki glaze. And then if you later in the week you decide I want a Mexican rice bowl, so I'm going to take that chicken, that rice, I'm going to open up a can of beans, I'm going to put a little cheddar cheese on top and some salsa, and I'm going to treat myself and crumble a few tortilla chips on top, and I've got a Mexican rice bowl. So start with what's prepared. Then we're going to mix and match, kind of just did that too. When you buy ingredients that work for multiple meals, this is easier to do, as I just described with the two rice bowls. Rotate your base carbs. That's one thing. I know there's always so much around carbs, like low carb this, keto that, but we need carbohydrates for brain function. The thing is, we don't want processed carbs as much as possible. So we want to reduce the white bread intake. We want to look for whole wheat, and we do want to rotate. So don't only go to rice, don't only go to pasta. Make sure you rotate those carbs. And then the last tip here is just try not to skip meals, because you're going to reduce those unhealthy choices and snacking, um, and being too hungry, and that helps you stay on track with your planning. Okay. And my favorite pasta, I just always like to give my opinion and thoughts here, is brown rice pasta. It's the only gluten-free pasta that cooks like normal, and no one knows the difference when they eat my house. And my favorite brand is Jovial. And it doesn't, I mean, I'm not paid by them or anything. It just tastes good. And but there's also several brands that have straight brown rice pasta. It doesn't really matter. They're really good. All right. How do we make this sustainable? Okay. So if we can, buy in bulk and freeze the extra portions. Repeat simple meals to reduce planning stress. Just make sure you don't get tired of it. Keep a short list of go-to easy meals. Use leftovers in soups, salads, or wraps. Say you had a little bit of that rotisserie chicken left and you had some tortillas and some lettuce in the refrigerator and you're tired of rice bowls, pull out that tortilla, throw the rest of that rotisserie chicken on lettuce, and maybe you have some sauce or some dressing, wrap it up, you're good to go. Stock pantry and freezer basics for low energy days. Use convenience foods let me backtrack. I'm going over my own time. Use convenience foods when needed. Canned foods, frozen foods. I promote them. Frozen, if I had to choose, I choose frozen over canned, but I'm not negating canned. Canned is still good. Adjust weekly based on your budget, time, and energy. And bottom line, enjoy what you eat. If you don't like it, you're not going to eat it. So make sure you like the foods that you pick. I have a few budget-friendly low prep snack ideas here for you. Just some Greek yogurt or your favorite yogurt. I like the cashew milk yogurt and berries, and you can use those frozen berries that you have. Okay, just throw those frozen berries on top and stir it up and eat. Veggie sticks and hummus. You can buy a bag of baby carrots. Buy a bag of, if it's easier, if chopping's not good, doesn't work for you, you can buy these chopped up vegetables and a thing of hummus, and that's a great snack. You can also use the hummus in salads instead of dressing. You can use it as a spread on a sandwich. Hummus is really good for you. You can even make your own hummus with a couple of cans of garbanzo or chickpeas and a little tahini, water, and lemon juice and salt in a blender. That's it. So that can be really cost effective if you make it yourself. Nuts and dried fruit are one of my favorite snacks. I promote nuts a lot if you're not allergic. You get the healthy fats you need. It helps lower your bad cholesterol. And then the dried fruit can kind of satisfy that sweet tooth. And then whole grain toast and avocado. I mean, you're getting your good fat. That's a really good breakfast. Throw a little egg on the side. You're going to be good to go and nice and full for the morning. So these are some great little snacks, and you can even use them as meals if you like. So I have a list here of recipes that I've created for you that are budget friendly and they're easy to kind of swap out. And they're just listed here, but I have a handout that Reggie will post for you or send to you
Yeah,
that
that'd be
has all
great.
these recipes. Yeah. So this like the smoothies, you can change them up so much. It's just a base, and if you don't like banana, you can leave it out. But I'm just going to go over this one with an example. You can throw that banana in the blender, your favorite frozen fruit, your favorite milk or almond milk or whatever it is. That's it. Blend. And if you want, if you want to add a little yogurt for extra, nutrition, you can. You don't have to. That's my favorite right there. If you have a protein powder you want to add in there, you can do that. So there, if you have extra things that you need for your health condition, like, I want to throw in some extra fiber, you can throw all that in your smoothie. If you have to take some of those supplements, I think a smoothie is great for that. Egg and veggie scramble. I mean, frozen veggies, saute them in the pan, toss a few eggs in, stir it up, you're done. Overnight oats go in the refrigerator, just throw them in a jar, and you can pop them in a bowl in the microwave the next morning. So all these things are going to be really easy for you to do. You'll have the full recipes, and if you would like, when I'm almost done, we can go. I can pull up that handout and we can look at that. Yeah, that was pretty much it. I know that was kind of fast, but I'm here for questions. I thought this might be more of a conversational type.
Yeah.
And I can pull up those if y'all bear with me for just a second. Let me pull up those recipes and y'all can look at them and see if you have any questions.
Jessica, I have a question.
Ah,
I'm not a big bean person, but I want to like beans. So what kind of beans would you recommend starting with? And like how do you season them and do that? Like to make because they just feel like very bland to me. And I'm not like a bowl person because I don't like to I'm kind of like weird like that. I don't like my food to be all mixed together. I'm kind of
that's not weird. That's common. Okay,
okay.
so let me ask first, what have you had that you don't like? Like what is like, ugh? Like is
You
it
know,
the
I grew up with
red
like
beans, white beans?
black eyed peas, which is like I don't like that. And then like pinto beans. I'm from the South. So,
Okay.
things like that. I don't know. I've just not been a big bean person. But
I'm
maybe
from the
I just haven't tried it right.
I was gonna say I'm from the South as well.
I
So
can tell
the
you have an accent.
Yeah. So the red beans and rice are, very popular down there. So it's a texture thing for you, or it's
It
just
might
not.
be a texture thing because I'm really weird with textures. Like I don't eat like ground meat because of the texture.
I'm wondering if like a simple black bean soup might be a good start for you where it's pureed.
Okay. Yeah.
So then you would cook your black beans and then puree them with like some chicken broth or veggie broth if you're a vegetarian. I would add in a little oil and I would add taco seasoning or cumin.
Okay.
So give it, and then you want to like maybe make a little avocado sour cream to drizzle on top with some cotija cheese, some cilantro, if you like that stuff. I would do it in some kind of way like that where it's a little different in flavor.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, chickpeas, what about hummus? Are you good with hummus?
I'll eat it. It's not my favorite, but I like chickpeas. Like I'll have them on salad and stuff every once in a while.
Salads are good. If you can take that, maybe try the black beans on a Mexican salad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like plain, or just
Yeah.
like how you said to cook them and then on the salad.
Yeah, if you want to, you could just take a can.
Okay.
And if you're including them in the salad, then they're going to be, uh, I'm very sorry. My phone has rung 3 times and it's the school. Uh,
Okay.
but
Oh, do you want to
but they
check
have
it?
my husband's number. I'm going to finish this class. I'm so sorry. That distracted me. They're going to get the flavor from all the other things, the salsa, and you don't eat ground meat, but do you eat meat?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, so you could take like a rotisserie chicken that's got flavor and use that in your salad. So maybe a taco salad or
Yeah.
sprinkle some on a taco if you have a chicken
Okay.
taco and just try to, if you really do want to learn to like them.
I do. Yeah, because they're cheap. And I'm looking for ways to add in like cheap things because growing up is more like meat, potato, and a vegetable, like very standard, like just meat, potato, vegetable. And so
Mm-hmm.
trying to kind of expand beyond that because that gets expensive.
It
Um,
does.
yeah. And it's not like things that you can kind of reuse a lot. Like it's like so I'll have like salmon, asparagus, and rice, or like a steak with asparagus or artichoke or something, and like mashed potatoes. But it's just it gets hard to kind of make that cheap.
Yeah, it
And it's
does.
more like a single meal rather than like something you can put energy into and have it last for a couple days. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like reusing the ingredients. And I don't really like leftovers. So I'm like, I want to cook everything kind of fresh, but not be so difficult and so expensive.
If you can keep your like your ingredients separate too, would you like so let's say you had your rotisserie chicken and then your beans all like in separate containers, would you eat them as leftovers like put together differently another day?
Probably.
Yeah, maybe keep your items separate for
Yeah.
leftovers if you want to increase leftovers. But what about bean burritos? I
I've never had a bean burrito because I've never liked the beans.
I had cooked some red beans for my family a while back, and then there was leftovers, and I just took a bunch of tortillas and made bean and cheese burritos and froze them.
Okay.
And and you have to defrost them halfway and then heat them
Yeah.
up, but they're almost gone. It worked.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so, so try
Is
try a
that,
bean
I'm
burrito.
sorry, is
Yeah.
that better than like getting frozen beans and cheese burritos? Like just the way you simply made it, you know what I mean? Because the thing is, like, I'm thinking about like caregiving because I only get like 4 days to get caregiving a, a week, so that'd be so easy for him to prep, like, because I can't roll up a tortilla because my arm's paralyzed.
Right.
So, but for him to prep it and put it in a Ziploc bag, I could easily take them out, put them in the microwave, or put it in an air fryer. That's something that I got to start thinking about. Like, that's so much
Yes.
easier. Because
Yes.
I
So
bought a salad from Walmart the other day. I was like, oh my God, I cannot do this again.
yeah, I do think
Because
that they're
that
healthier.
chicken tasted chalky,
Yeah.
chalky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh
that
my
because
God.
you get to control what goes into it. So
Yeah.
let's say you put those beans in that crock pot yesterday and now your helper's here and you got a pack of 8 tortillas, have him spoon those in there and roll them up for you. What I do
Gotcha.
is so the best when you're freezing them, you want to make sure that they stay kind of airtight. And since what I had on hand was Ziplocs and parchment paper. So I
Hmm.
just cut and wrapped each one in parchment paper and then stuck it in the Ziploc and then got all the air out and then zipped them. And those will last, I would say, up to 2 months like that without getting
Wow.
freezing.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, and I was supposed to share. I'm sorry, I got distracted.
No, you're doing
I,
good. Holly, go
Correct.
ahead and come on in.
yeah, hi. Two
Hi.
things. Well, a couple of things. I was going to okay, sorry. Let me back this up. Sorry, I was rear-ended like 10, 12 days ago and I'm struggling with speaking
Oh,
again.
I'm
So,
sorry.
Take your
ah,
time, Holly. Take your
yeah.
time. I'm glad you're
Well,
here. It's
let me
okay.
kind of call my okay, let me start
Yeah.
this. I'm so sorry this is taking so long.
Oh, it's
So
okay.
one of the things, okay, so because of my memory issues and because of my back and neck and headache issues and pain issues, I can't do something more than 2 minutes because I get excruciating pain and then I have to lay down. So cooking is not a non-option at this point. But what I do is buy prepared meals. But what I did discover in the last 6 months was two things. We were trying to incorporate I've been watching things on what's healthier to eat and stuff. So we've been trying to, and my son's a little bit of a picky eater as well. So we've been trying to incorporate, lots of different types of beans and stuff and have to buy canned because I can't do the rest, but I do want to learn about maybe he can learn how to cook them and that kind of stuff in the future. But having said that, I discovered I don't know if it was on a Facebook reel, but this woman basically took three kinds of beans, threw them in a bowl and added cucumber, mozzarella, and tomato. And then she just did a simple vinaigrette dressing, which I was actually able to do. And I bought an extra, mayonnaise, not my mustard to add to, because there's like 5, 7 things you need. So it was like 5 ingredients, really simple. Open the can, toss it in, and then whip this up this real quick 7 ingredient dressing, with balsamic vinegar, olive
Mhm.
oil, mustard, a little bit of lemon juice, salt, pepper, like super simple. Just and mix it with a fork, which I did. And then you toss it all in, put it in your fridge, and she would use it as lunches all week for like 5 lunches. And for me, it's really easy. It's a go-to, and we love it so much we actually eat it in like a day or two because we just eat it until it's gone, kind of thing, because it's so good. But
That's
what it
delicious.
also did was it created some other simple things. Like there's some days where I can barely move. I'm in so much pain. And even microwaving food can be too much. But there's been a couple of times where I've literally grabbed a can of kidney beans or grabbed a can of garbanzo beans and put them on a plate, opened a can of French green beans, put them side by side, and literally just tossed Worcestershire sauce over the top of it. And it ends up being one of these simple little mini meals or whatever you want to make it into a snack or a meal that my son and I actually kind of gravitate towards because we love it. It just tastes so good and it's a different taste from what we've been getting. And because we can, with not being able to cook, I buy a lot of the same prepared foods, routinely, and then that gets boring after a while. So I try to switch it up and what have you. So that's one I wanted to mention to Miranda. You can kind of just experiment and grab things you have and just kind of toss it in a bowl or a plate and heat it up or whatever. And we've discovered a couple of things that we actually really, really like that are super, super simple. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah,
I
I
love
love
that,
that.
Holly.
Is there a
Sorry, Miranda.
specific Instagram account that you're following to get these recipes?
No, it was a fluke. Every once in a while, I'll get on Facebook and they have those reels, and this woman
Mm.
just happened to have this picture of this dish that looks so fresh and organic and healthy and simple, which are all the things I love. And I just did it. And then I was like, so for me, the biggest caveat right now is when I buy the mozzarella before my memory forgets to use the mozzarella before it goes bad, because I buy the pre-cut fresh mozzarella you just slice off and toss it in.
Yeah.
But because of my memory issues, I have to use it within a certain time or else it goes bad. That and the cucumber. I'll forget the cucumber or zucchini. And I've sometimes done zucchini and cucumber. But it's so freaking good. And it's really simple. Um, I don't think I have it handy, but if I do, I'll look up and see if I wrote it down and shared it with somebody else. So if I do, I'll put it in the chat. But yeah, just super simple. Throw it in the fridge. It can the more it marinates every day, it gets better and better. Like we literally sit down and we can't get enough of it. We just like plow through it. It's so freaking good. But simple. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'll see if I can find it.
I would love that recipe. Yeah, because I've tried a couple things on Instagram that looked like healthy and they weren't that difficult. And then I printed them out and I tried them and they were both a bust. So I was just like, okay, well, I tried.
Yeah, this is literally taking cans, opening them up, draining out the water, and tossing it in. Like that's the whole thing. So for me,
That's
I
nice.
can, even too much can opening can be painful for me. So, but that one I can do. So, yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
I would love that. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, no worries.
I just
I
want to
love
say
those.
thank you for sharing that, Holly, and like your there that you just had such a great experience and you just keep at it, being creative. And for you, Miranda, for like just not giving up. And
I know.
gonna I
I'm
love it.
You
trying.
sound
It's
great,
great.
Holly, by the way. You sound great, Holly. You're speaking really well.
Thank you. Thank you. It comes and goes, and I seem to be sleeping a lot more since this last little whatever. So I think all it did, well, I don't know what it did, but the symptoms I've had for the last 4 years, it just made them worse this last 2 weeks. So I'm hoping it's just temporary and it's just a little hiccup in my recovery because I don't want to go through what I went through the last 4 years. So I don't think it's near as bad, but it's like, seriously. Um, I don't go anywhere. I'm basically a shut in. I tried to, you know, go in an Uber and take my son to a movie to try to get out of the house, during his holiday break because I have him every other holiday because we rotate, my ex and I, and we literally and the movie outing itself is a big endeavor. And then on the way to the movie, somebody rammed us, not once, but twice it turned out. I didn't realize they hit us, rear-ended us twice, but both the Uber driver and my son said that we got hit twice. I didn't even realize we got hit twice, so I don't know why I didn't realize, but and then had to go get the CAT scan and all the jazz because the paramedics said to go do it. So thank you. I've noticed that I'm struggling with things in the last 2 weeks that it's just, you just have to be so careful. And it was just frustrating that I tried to go do this outing and here I am back and getting yet another CAT scan. The last thing you want to do after having a brain injury is continue to end up in the hospital. So, but anyway, I'm here. I'm fine. I'm just sleeping a lot and trying to rest and get my system, it just heightened all the symptoms, up a couple of degrees. So
Yeah.
it is what it
Holly,
is. But
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
Holly, I'm going to send you my email address and you can reach out to me. I'm a speech language pathologist, but I work with people after
Love it.
motor vehicle accidents and specifically like people with concussions.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
if you want to reach out, I can give you some resources.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thanks, honey.
Hmm.
That's awesome. I love that.
No, me too.
Awesome. And I can second that, Holly. I've had those salads. Those are amazing. And they're so versatile. So yeah. And even if you don't have all the ingredients, if you just put oil and vinegar, it still tastes good on top of it for the dressing, all the ingredients. So yeah, it's amazing. And
Yeah,
then here,
the Worcestershire sauce was a kind of a little trick because I got it for free after, as a reward on, and then I just tossed it on a couple things and it's got that little bit of a sweetness, but it's not a ton of ingredient. So you just toss, so that was like, oh, this is an interesting flavor to throw on things. So it just kind of adds a little tweak to stuff. But anyway, yeah. Thank
love
you.
it. Mhm. Awesome. Well, do we have any more questions?
And the
Let's see.
document that you all see here is something that I will be sending out to you through email. So you will have what you see on the screen. Um,
I just have a quick question. Sorry.
no, that's
When
good.
we're talking about beans and protein, because I'm always thinking about like, does it always have to be meat? Beans and rice, when you kept on saying beans and rice bowls, is that enough? Like, is there a certain amount of protein that you should really intake?
Love that question. Okay, so what we need, the average person, and you may want to write this down, needs 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Okay, the
Per
average
kilogram.
person needs 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Now, there's a caveat there. Perimenopausal and menopausal women need about 1.5 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight.
All right, I'll let AI do that for me.
That's great. So you're
Yeah,
getting your protein?
I don't know yet. I
Okay.
think I am, but I'm just trying to make it simple. I got to make everything as simple as I overthink after my stroke brain injury, I just overthink everything and stress out about everything. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, am I eating healthy enough? You know what I mean? All that stuff, So am
Yeah.
I getting enough protein? So like to supplement that, I've been sometimes before my workout with my caregiver, I'll do like 20 grams of the yogurt drink or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy to shake it, and that's it. And I just
Yep.
drink that during my lunch, when I'm hungry. That's the other thing I had a question about. Like, it's hard for me to like work up an appetite because I'm, disabled now. So
Mm-hmm.
I just eat when I'm hungry. I used to eat 3 times a day, on like clockwork, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But now it's just like I'll skip breakfast, and whenever I'm hungry for breakfast, I'll eat breakfast. Does that really make that much of a difference? Honestly.
Not really on the breakfast part because there's what's called intermittent fasting. Okay, so
Yeah.
intermittent fasting is eating most of your food between like a 6 to 8 hour period. So let's say you eat all your food between 12 and 8 p.m. and you
Yeah.
skip breakfast. That's just intermittent fasting. I wouldn't recommend it every single day, but if you do that sometimes, that's actually healthy and good for you.
Okay. Great.
But back to your question, let's just to give a clue. Let's say the average person and this person weighs 140 pounds, they would need about 65 grams of protein a day, plus or minus a few.
Well, say that again one more time.
An average person that weighs 140 pounds, I'm just picking a random number, would
Okay.
need about 65 grams of protein a day. And you could sometimes have a little less, sometimes have a little more.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting the protein that I need. There's no way.
Well, I mean, just your shake is 20, that's a third. And if you're getting like meat at other meals, you
Yeah.
you might be. You'd be surprised how much protein can be packed into 4 ounces of chicken.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
like I said, that cottage cheese, eat a cup of cottage cheese, you got 30 grams right there.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
And that goes back to your point of making your foods count. And so it is great to just explore and get some education.
Hmm.
Um, and I wanted to see if you could address, I know my background of what I've been educated is that beans and rice together make a complete protein.
Hmm. Yes.
And so I don't know how though a person would like be able to measure how much protein one is getting. If I have 1 cup of beans and 1 cup of rice, um, is there a way to know like, oh, I'm going to get this much protein because of the way their amino acids come together?
I think what I would do, I don't have a definitive answer for that, but I would just take and look on the nutrition label per serving and for both packages and just add them. That's, what I would do. And I think that's just the simplest. And then don't forget about the quinoa, the grain quinoa. That is a complete protein as well if you're looking for something else to add to your mix.
Okay.
I wanted to
Um,
share something that I love so much, and I was reminded of it because of Holly's description of the salad with the beans. This one doesn't have beans, but um, I'm a huge fan of a simple dressing, and I really like fresh herbs. So not everybody likes because those are pretty pungent, but it's a dressing of equal parts lemon juice, fresh lemon juice and olive oil, some salt and pepper to your liking, and then I put that over. It's basically a Greek salad. So I put in fresh mint and oregano, and then I put in, if I have, tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, just throw them in whole, some cucumbers, and then if I have black olives, because I like those. And for people that can eat feta, I can't, but put feta cheese. But there's something kind of yummy and briny with that combination, that I add quinoa to that sometimes if I want to bulk it up, and it has a nice added texture, and then you get all the benefits of the quinoa while it's still vegetarian. I'm not vegetarian, but I recognize the value in not having meat at every meal. So
Yeah,
anyway, yeah,
I love that.
it's fun.
Now,
All
I
right.
know this
Yeah, do you have
seems,
another? Yeah.
yeah, one last question.
Hmm.
Because I overthink and I tend to do that because of my post-stroke. I do that with everything. Like even, like frozen, healthy, chicken burritos. That's processed probably. Obviously it is, but I mean, is that okay once in a while? Because that sometimes I have to have a go-to. Because
Yeah.
when I don't on the weekends, because I don't get my caregiver on the weekends. So if something happens during the weekday and I just, you know, skip, I have like the burritos as a backup just in case. You know what I mean?
I think that's perfectly fine. And truth, I say to everyone, read the label. Okay.
Yeah.
The fewer the ingredients, the better. If you can pronounce them, the better. And then, like the first listed ingredient is going to be what's most in there.
Okay.
So, pay attention to the
Just keep
ingredients.
that simple. Yeah.
Yeah, just keep the ingredients label simple, and you're going to be fine.
All right. Great.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. I know
you're
these
welcome.
seems like probably ridiculous questions, but
No, they're
it
not at
just
all. They're very common questions and very valid.
okay.
Hmm.
Thank you
And I
very
wanted to
much.
say, Musong, that I appreciate your self-awareness, that you know that you really think about things a lot and maybe to a point that just becomes kind of overwhelming. So it's great to be
It
able to
does.
ask
Yeah.
and then be able to trust that, to be able to just build trust in yourself. Like, okay, I learned this and this is good enough because being good enough is
I
great.
know.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love
And
that.
that, that almost made me cry.
Hmm.
But
Oh,
yeah, it's very true. And I tend to forget that a lot just because I get so overwhelmed by the disability right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
So but it's tough. But you're right.
It
If
seems
I
like you're
make that
doing great.
effort, it's good enough and I'm being aware of it. It's
Yeah.
okay. Just calm down.
Mm. And you're
I need to
doing
really
so many
focus
good
on that.
things. You're doing so many good things. And that
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm just really glad that you're here and I really appreciate what you've been sharing. It's really valuable.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Miss Song.
Yeah. Thank you.
In Musong, I can send a handout if it would be helpful. And like I have a lot of handouts on adaptive equipment, and there's like a lot of adaptive equipment, like things for kitchen tools. If that would be helpful.
A pretty good list on Amazon going.
Okay.
It's a matter of time. But I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yep.
Yeah.
So great. That's a great
Yep.
reason. This is a wonderful thing about coming in community and learning together, because then we get to learn from each other, and it just makes it
Yep.
even a richer experience.
I love it.
Definitely.
So.
Awesome.
Well, Jessica, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time and for your presence in responding to questions and just giving just great, rich, accessible information. Oh, someone's giving us a recipe.
Well,
Let's
thank
see
you so
here.
much, Holly, and thank you
Oh,
for
yay! Thank you. That's so great. That's great, Holly.
It's
Okay.
yeah, it's just basic. It's just basic, cut the
Yeah.
mozzarella up, toss it in, drain out the beans, toss it in, cut the veggies, toss it in. It's pretty simple. I think I might have forgot tomatoes. Did I put tomatoes on there? I probably didn't. I just realized add tomatoes too. And then the dressing, you can just Google vinaigrette dressing and you'll get what the amounts are for each ingredient. But and the mustard, I think it's not spicy, but what's it called?
Oh, like
Not the
Dijon.
thank you.
Dijon.
Dijon.
Dijon's the word. Dijon's the word. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really tasty, and you can adjust the dressing, sweeter, less sweet, more balsamic, less like however you like it. And I literally put it in a cup and mix it with a fork and toss it on. That's like the best I can do, and that works. So anyway,
It's
thank you.
fantastic. I will add
Thank
Thanks,
you.
this
Holly.
to the follow-up email, everyone, so you don't have to worry about writing it down. It'll come along with Jessica's
Okay.
recipes, and I'll put
Fantastic.
it at the bottom of the email. It'll be Holly's special salad. How's that?
Okay.
Love it.
And add tomatoes because I think I
I
left that
did.
out.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
thank
Totally.
you. Thank you.
Thank you all so
Wonderful.
much. It's been a pleasure to talk
Thanks,
to you today.
Jessica.
Thank
Been
you.
so great. Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate you so much.
Thank
Thank
you. Have a
you.
great
Thank you
weekend.
so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you,
Thank you very
everyone.
much.
Thanks for your
That was really
participation.
informative. Yep.
Thank you so
Good.
much.
See you next time.
All right. Bye.
Thank you again.
Bye.